Yes guys, what is happening and welcome back to another video on the Turbo DC5 Integra. So we took it for a first kind of drive, but it wasn't like a proper drive, it was just a scary, nervous kind of outing in the car. Obviously it's first time it's been driven in like months. We've added a turbo kit, we've put base map on it, I've done everything up, or not done everything up as it seems. And yeah, it was a scary old time. So I'm gonna get in the car, we'll have a little chat and I'll tell you how it went down, what's got to be done and what could be expected in today's video. So without further ado, let's go. Right, so car started up as you saw in the previous video. Massive thanks for everyone for watching, commenting, like, sharing, subscribing, all that, because video did really well. And then went out for a little drive, literally just round the block, literally just to get the car moving. And I noticed straight away the throttle pedal was a bit brr, brr, and I thought, could that be because of the base map or could it be because of the turbo? So I was a bit unaware of what actually could be causing the issue. It just didn't feel as linear and as smooth as it used to. So we tried to drive it anyway. I literally drove it probably 2 minutes, 3 minutes away, and I noticed straight away, one, we had an oil leak, two, some wire had fell down and landed on the exhaust downpipe and that was melting, and we had the brake booster pipe was rubbing against the belt, and then it basically ripped the hose to bits, and I had no brakes, so I had to use my handbrake to slow me down, which was very dangerous. So I've got it back, long story short, fixed a few of those issues. And I've tried to go for a drive. I've added the coolant, I've added like 5.5 litres of coolant. Heat has been on full blast, let it idle, and my temp gauge isn't going up at all. So I've had engine management light on. Obviously the car never really had an engine management light, apart from when you used to hit red line, it used to, like, I think it had like a delay in it and it used to shoot flames. So that's the only time I used to have engine management light, was when it said it's like a shift light. But now we have got two different lights. I did order the Carlies, the iCarlies, off the website, but my friend has come to me, my rescue, and given me he's given me his OBD reader. So we've stuck that on and we found two faults, and these two faults are the exact faults that I originally thought we had. So we got this iCar Pro, it probably all does the same thing. So I plugged that in yesterday, and the two things I was suspicious of are definitely potentially causing why the gauge isn't going up and why we've got this real weird misfire. So yeah, I don't want to talk too much because I hate watching videos where people talk too much, but I'm just trying to give you a brief overview of what's actually going on with the car. So yeah, let's show you what's cracking.
So first things first, let's pop the hood.
The bonnet's up, you know what's doing me, it? Lifting this up, man. Because obviously the way all this is now, I can't keep this bonnet staying, so I have to put it in the boot, and then when I want to lift the bonnet up, if I ain't got that, it ain't staying up. So I do need to get some gas struts, because it is seriously doing my Sweden. But yeah, there's our big mammoth hole of you saw. But this is what I noticed. I've just disconnected it now to show you, but this is a intake air temperature sensor, and wow, see that? Apparently that's not supposed to be doing that. So it come with a kit with O-rings, gaskets. I put the O-ring in first, but apparently if that has got any movement in it or letting any air in, that will cause a fault on the car. And with the code reader, it is giving us that fault. So I'm going to take this off now and hopefully move it. And here's regarding to, you know when I said it melted, see this little wire here? This wire was on the manifold on the downpipe, and it started burning, and then I've had to remove the washer jets, because obviously the screamer is getting there. Kind of think it's more hassle than it's worth, this screamer now. I'm just a bit worried that it's a bit obnoxious. Ideally I think I want a 90-degree one, so it literally cuts out and goes straight up rather than on an angle, because then you wouldn't have such a massive hole in the bonnet. Obviously my cutting did now, I suppose, but yeah. And there's one more thing under there, but we'll try and sort that out first, and then we'll get onto that one under there. So what I'm going to do, two Allen key bolts, undo that, pop that out, and hopefully it seats a bit better. Right, so I'm a bit concerned because the O-ring that went in there is now gone. So the only place it could have gone is either A, into the inlet and the engine hasn't sucked it up yet, or B, it's gone back down into the intercooler. But I'm almost 1,000,000% sure when I put that in, I put the rubber grommet in as well, because rubber grommet goes against that and then it bolts in. But yeah, it's gone missing. Right, so I bought this anyway the other day, so I could have 1,000,000% swore I put the gasket in, and there's no way I would have wedged it in there. So I have no idea what's happened there. So that could be a big problem waiting to happen. So gasket's in there, and then I'm gonna get the new, well, not the new, but we get the sensor and the thing, slot it in there. I've just checked it and it doesn't actually move now, which is weird. So yeah, that's another one ticked off the list. Right, so this doesn't move anymore and it's connected, so that is one job done. I found a sensor that literally hides underneath these two, so see where the wiring goes, there is a little tiny connector literally hiding right under there, so I didn't connect that. So yeah, useless or what, but yeah, they're in. I'm just worried about that O-ring, because if that O-ring's in there, I'm guessing that's going to chew it to bits, so let's hope not. This is the next problem slash issue we're about to solve. So if you see there should be a sensor on there, but I didn't realise, obviously I've never done this before, so as you can see I was just trying to troubleshoot yesterday, so I just connected that onto there, tried to run the engine and see if it would actually get rid of an engine management light. So that has got to be took off there, put into there, but then the wire into that needs to be extended so it can connect onto that. So without further ado, I'm going to empty the coolant, then I'm going to put that in, do it up and see if it works. So let's go. Right, so it's been 5 seconds for you, has been ages for me. So we've drained the coolant's been emptied, and we've put it in our bucket. I've disconnected the intercooler, tried to shake it to see if the O-ring's in there. The O-ring's disappeared, so unless the engine's chewed it up, I have no idea. Hopefully it will just burn it and shoot it out. Now what we're doing is the connectors, so I've just got Stanley blade, cut 2 connectors there. Same on this bit of wiring here. Big up Manny for giving me a piece of audio cable. I'm going to splice these, connect them onto them, extend the wire, connector up, fill the coolant up, and then hopefully start it. So fingers crossed this goes all well. Sensors are connected. I've took the intercooler off, shook it. That O-ring is not in the boost box or the intercooler, so either it's in the inlet or the engine sucked it up. Would that kill the engine? No, I'm scared. I'm going to send it anyway, and then I've connected that sensor that's under the 2 cam, it's like a cam cover sensor kind of thing. There's one right underneath where the coolant hose is. So yeah, I've put like as much coolant in as I can at the moment, but it's maxed up, so I'm going to start it, let it bleed, and then add when need be. So stick her in. Yes, see that there, guys? No more engine management light. Woo! Sorted. Let's let her bleed up. Let's go. So it ran sweet, but now I'm getting, if you can see there, I'm getting coolant leaking out of it. I have no idea what's going on. So all I did was undone that cap, yeah, and I've put this new sensor in down here. Watch. See, it looks like it's, I can't put my finger on it what it is, but it looks like it's running down the core. Like I haven't messed with the rubber pipe, and the only thing I've done is take the gasket off the left one, and I've put the actual clip in, but it looks like it's running out the cores maybe. I don't know, what do you think? But it wasn't leaking before, but the only thing I've touched is that one there, so I have no idea what is going on or why it's even doing that. Right then, so after all this has happened, for some reason it stopped. leaking coolant, and it only leaked the tiniest bit of coolant because I was just literally, it was like dropping off the rad onto like the crossbar, and then it was like trickling to the lowest point because obviously it's on jack stand, so it's like on a bit of an angle. And it was only like a little bit, so it must have been an overflow. But the only thing I noticed was when I was like I revved it a little bit, so like give it a couple of bumps on the throttle, and obviously a bit of coolant went boom, so it must have been pushing air through. But the only thing is, like, I put 5 litres of Honda genuine coolant in, and then I had like half a litre, so I put that in as well, and then obviously I've drained it, so I've got 5.5 litres in a bucket, and literally it's pretty much used all that, but it's still gone down. So I've ordered another 5 litres of Honda genuine coolant, which I'm waiting for tomorrow. But yeah, it's weird because when I turned the engine off, that's when I noticed it like trickling down the back of the rad. So I was like, oh, is the radiator messed up or what? So I spoke to Dean, and he said probably when you wasn't watching it, it could have been overflowing over the rad, but unless it was sitting in between all the cores, and then obviously it must have just dropped onto the crash panel and then like dripped over. But it was only like literally like 10, 20 mil, 30 mil, something like that. But obviously with it going I was like, what the hell's going on? So yeah, I want to make sure everything's right, and obviously we've sort of seen stuff like that. I was like, shit. So yeah, make sure you do all your connectors up, because I didn't connect the knock sensor. I didn't connect, I think there's about 3 sensors I didn't connect. So yeah, always look at what you're taking off, and if it's relevant to the car, like AC, there's no AC now, so the AC switches and connectors are irrelevant now. But yeah, it could have been dangerous. Even that O-ring, like I've drove it around the block and that today, and the O-rings disappeared. So either the engine's chewed it up or what. So if we have to forge it and that, and it dies because of an O-ring. So yeah, I just want to say thanks for watching the videos. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.